Denise and I were in the Northwest Territories. We were there visiting her daughter Kara, who had moved up there to teach. And as luck would have it, she was able to secure me the use of a canoe for a couple of days. I picked up the canoe at the school and made a carry down a trail that would take me to a tributary which connected Marion Lake and Great Slave Lake. Once on the water, I decided to head northwest to see if I could make it to Marion Lake. I had been told that the water levels were very low, so I knew there was a chance I would not be able to make it to the lake. And unfortunately, that turned out to be the case. So I turned around and headed towards Great Slave Lake. I knew there was a good chance that the same fate awaited me at the other end, but either way, I knew I'd have a beautiful paddle. The wind had started to really pick up, and as I was in a 17-foot tandem canoe, I was quite happy I had brought along 2 30-liter dry bags, which I had filled with water and placed at each end of the canoe for added weight. The flies, which had been quite numerous on land, were considerably less on the water and had all but disappeared in the strong wind. Okay, well, the wind has died down. Due to the low water levels, there were quite a few times where large rocks lay just below the water line, making the going a little slower. Eventually, I came to a spot where the low water levels required getting out of the canoe and carrying it over. Once on the other side, I continued my paddle. After a short paddle, I had to do another takeout. Soon I could hear traffic and I knew I was near the highway. And once again, due to low water levels, I would have to carry. Now, on the other side of the highway, I passed a small water pump station. I could tell by the shoreline that the water levels were normally quite a bit higher. Soon, I had to get out and push and pull the canoe. But I had decided I wasn't going to stop until I reached Great Slave Lake. So I drained the bags to lighten the load and started pulling. and pulling and pulling. Back in the canoe. Okay, I'm this far from shore and the lake is still only about half a paddle blade deep. So I don't know if that's normal. That's crazy. I then proceeded to make my way to one of the small islands where I would stop and have lunch. The seagulls seemed quite agitated as I approached the island, and it got worse when I landed. I presumed they may be using this island for nesting, so I moved on to the next. After lunch, I was back on the water exploring Great Slave Lake. But as with all good things, this too had to end, and it was time to head back. The wind had really picked up again. It made the trip back a little tougher and longer, but I didn't mind. I couldn't get enough of this scenery.